Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Keeping Up with Marshall County Athletics. This time joined by Boaz, and we'll be joined by the volleyball team and the football team here today. I'm joined by head volleyball coach, Coach Shauna Cahill, and Coach, for you now, year 3 as the head coach, year 8 being at Boaz, and you've created so many relationships now with all these girls, I'm sure since they were in middle school, coming on up, being there as long as you have, and kind of, get started with that and just being at one place for as long as you have, and then now becoming the head coach where you coach these girls since they were younger. What's that like now, growing up and getting to see them grow up and all y'all kind of being together as a group now with you being the head coach and them being seniors and running this varsity volleyball program now?
Sure. So honestly, it's flown by. It's gone by super fast. It seems like we were just on the court as 8th graders and figuring out who we were and what positions we were going to play. And this is a big year for these girls. It's their senior year, and we've made leaps and bounds on progress. We've worked to get where we're at and kind of settle into a position, work at that position to get better. And these group of girls, they have chemistry. They play well together. They know each other like the back of their hand, which sometimes is good, sometimes is bad. But I am definitely glad to lead these girls for 3 years now, and in the previous 5 years at middle school. And I'm excited about the season.
Obviously, you had experience, being a head coach and stuff before at other levels, but moving up and being the head coach now here with these girls from varsity, having watched them, where have you really seen them grow the most as a coach now from when you had them in middle school to now being their varsity coach?
Really just the strategy of the game. Volleyball is a strategic sport, and doing what it's going to take to execute on the court, not just, pass, hit kind of thing. So really learning the game, the mentality of the game, the strategy of the game, and working together play by play to execute, get each point, and then we've really focused on pushing 3 points, some difficult points and difficult times throughout this summer. So that's what we're going to continue to work on this year. But like I said, just from middle school to now, leaps and bounds, and they've made a ton of progress.
You look at last year for you guys, over 60 games during the year for y'all, and obviously that's a lot of games to play, but you had a veteran, 3 seniors last year, these 7 seniors were juniors. What was that like having so many players on the team last season?
Right, so we did end up playing over 60 games last year, and we had a really tough summer where we played probably 10, 15 matches just in the summer itself. So I feel like we were a little tired going into the season, so we had to kind of find our breaking point to reset mentality-wise. And I had the 3 seniors last year. All of these girls have played together, so like I said, moving into it, one good thing is they know what my expectations already are. They have expectations set for themselves, for the team, and so it's kind of like we don't have to focus on a lot of the small things anymore. We can just go into game mode and work on what's best for us and what's going to work for us.
You mentioned the summer. Obviously with volleyball, you guys get to kind of play games in July, and it carries right over into the season, getting going in August. And how big is that to have that opportunity for all, even though they've played together for so long, for them to be able to get out there and start getting some games that don't necessarily matter as much in the summer to really prepare them for the season starting like you did last week?
Right, so it's a pretty good benchmark for us to kind of show us where we're at as far as starting out and where are our weaknesses and where do we need to focus to kind of build our strengths at. But we started at the end of June. We've had a couple of play dates during the summer, like 2 at Supreme Court. So we got a play date at Lawrence County. We had a Sneed skills camp. We got a Montana skills camp. So we've been very, very busy. And we went through the summer, no injuries, and then about a week before the season, adversity. We've got my opposite side hitter, she's got a fractured thumb. My outside hitter, hopefully she's going to get released tomorrow. She's got a hairline fracture in her foot. So, we've struggled with, we get locked into a position and then we have to change that because we've had a few injuries. But we're kind of settling back into rotation based on summer.
Tell me about, like practice and how has practice changed in now your 3 years of being the head varsity coach?
So practice, we come in and it's an hour and a half, it's 2 hours of working, and we've got to lock in during that time. We've got to give it our all. I tell the girls, no matter if it's practice or if it's game, you work out of that, you walk off the court and you're happy with your performance. It might be a bad practice, and you might make mistakes. Of course, it's going to happen to everybody. That's just a part of the game. But one thing that we're always in control of is our effort and our communication. So I call those our non-negotiables at practice. We're always hustling. We're always communicating. And I feel like kind of going into a game, if you're doing those two things, then that's going to eliminate errors. And if you're not making errors, then hopefully we'll win.
From a practice standpoint, you talk about wanting them to work as hard as they can. How nice has it been having such a veteran group the last 2 years really kind of lead that part of what you want to see from practice?
They've definitely stepped up as leaders. Like I said, they know each other better than really I know each other. So they pick each other up when they're down. They are leaders on the court. They know when somebody's getting inside their head, so they can say, shake it off, it's fine. So just having that, them having each other to pick each other up, I kind of stepped back from that because I've not had to do that because they've stepped into that leadership role for each other.
7 seniors with only 6 spots on the court, so how tough is that to balance as a coach as well? And, want to make sure you get a lot of your veteran players out there and give them opportunities.
Right. I feel like I do pretty good about balancing playtime. They know that the standard is whoever needs to be out there in order to get us a win. It's not just the 6 playing. If you're on the bench, you're just as important. And I really say that those people that are on the bench are fueling the fire on the court. And, going back to picking each other up, they're just as important. But if we've got a strong 6 out there, then we're all fine with that strong 6 because we all want to win. And I guess that's just kind of the mentality that we have.
You bring up the bench. How much do you stress that part of it of, hey, even if you're not out there on the court, I see it all the time, volleyball teams, the ones that have the bench that's the most active, that's, giving the most energy and stuff, that helps the team on the court. How much do you really stress that with your group?
I probably yell at the bench more than I do the girls that are on the court because it is huge. When you're coaching girls, they are fueled by that fire. They need that energy. When they feel good, they play good. And so if we're all in it together, whether they're on the court sticking up the bench or the bench is sticking up the court, if we just all we're going to have that high energy, we're going to keep focused, then it's good. But I'm pretty tough on the bench.
You guys got started last week, you played 2 games. Kind of tell me what you saw and the improvements you saw from those summer games into you guys actually getting on the court for real this past week.
So we played Westbrook and Southside. We were down my 2 starting right side and left side hitters. So we kind of had to figure that out. And Southside was tough competition. We knew going in that they were going to be tough competition. They've always been tough. But we hung right there with them for it to be our first game. And then I was really proud of the girls because we were able to push through some really difficult points, whether it was serve points or just multiple errors in a row. We played Westbrook and took them in 2, and particularly in that second set, we were really close. It was 20-23. We were down, and we went on a 5-0 run. So that was something that I was super proud of in that moment, especially being down 2 of my starting hitters. And, we got to lock in during those difficult points, and that's exactly what the girls did. And I made sure that they knew that I was proud of them for doing that. So moving on, I think that we're going to be really good about pushing through those difficult points and knowing what we got to do in order to win.
What were the biggest things that stood out to you on, hey, we really need to improve here if we want to get where we want to be as a volleyball program?
We've got to lock in on defense. The girls know that. We came back from Thursday's matches and we talked about, why are these balls hitting the floor when somebody should be there and who's supposed to be there. And if this happens, then if it's a set or out ball, where should we be? So we've been running some defensive drills and particularly serve receive. You know, I want to be aggressive servers so that we're getting points offensively, but I also want to be defensively strong when we get a serve receive because I only want that server to serve once so we can get the ball back. So we've been working on defense and serve receive a lot since our matches last week.
You know, and we talk about some of the things you guys need to work on, but I mean, isn't that a positive thing that you guys have some things to work on? I mean, you obviously don't want to be perfect at this point of the year, and so, I mean, even though there are things to work on, I mean, it's a good thing that you guys have some things to work on, have some things, especially that stand out early in the season that you guys know, hey, we have to improve here if we want to get to Birmingham and be competing for a state championship.
Right, absolutely, and the girls know that making errors is a part of the game, and we reset each point, and if we can all do that, then we're going to get the next point, and that's kind of where we're at. But you know, it's with girls, it is a lot of mentality, and just pushing through those difficult points is that's what we got to do.
Coach, really appreciate you taking the time to join us here on Keeping Up with Marshall County Athletics, and good luck to you and your girls for the rest of the season.
Thank you.
We'll be back with more here on Keeping Up with Marshall County Athletics right after this. Welcome back into Keeping Up with Marshall County Athletics, presented by the Henry House in Guntersville. Make sure to check out the Henry House if you're looking for somewhere to stay, coming up here to vacation on the lake, anything like that. Check out the Henry House, and you can Google them online, find out information. It's a great place to stay. They got 5 different types of rooms that you can stay in, so make sure to look to the Henry House in Guntersville for any of your vacation needs. I'm joined by some members of the Boaz Volleyball team. I'm going to let them introduce themselves and tell you their name, what position they play, and what grade they're in.
Hey, I'm Sarah Walker. I'm a DS and I'm in 12th grade.
My name is Chloe Baines. I'm a middle and right side, and I'm in 12th grade.
My name is Riley Brumbuckle and I'm the libero and I'm in 12th grade.
So, I mean, you know, kind of for all 3 of y'all, tell me what it's like to, you know, now be seniors. You know, you guys are the leaders of this volleyball team. You guys have kind of grown up with your coach and everything. Y'all have grown up together as a group. And so what's it like to now be at this point and be the ones that, you know, all the younger ones are really looking to really guide them when it comes to wanting to do things right for this volleyball program?
Just don't feel like we're supposed to be seniors, and it's crazy, honestly.
Yeah. I just feel like we're good kids to like take the role of being leaders.
So, you know, talking about having 7 seniors, I mean, that has to be nice to know that there's a little bit of load. You know, there's not just 1 or 2 individuals, there's 7 of y'all that y'all can kind of lean on each other and things. So how nice is that to have where there's 7 other people or 6 other people besides just you that people can look to, and you're not just the sole leader or just the 1 or 2 people that people are really looking up to?
It's really nice because we all have friendships, and so I feel like when the younger girls look up to us, they kind of strive for that, to keep those friendships, and I just feel like we're a good group to look up to, especially with all of us and the leaders that we have.
You know, tell me about this summer and what it was like, you know, stepping into those roles, and then, you know, some of the stuff that y'all had, you know, what changed for y'all? You graduate 3 seniors from last year, and what were some of the things that y'all had to kind of step up and start doing that you maybe didn't have to do last year as juniors on the team?
I just feel like we all had to take the role of being a leader, and we didn't really have to do that last year in a way, and because we had 3 seniors, and I feel like we took the role pretty good of all being leaders and like helping each other out and picking each other up.
You know, you look at y'all's schedule from last year, I mean, over 60 games, you guys challenge yourselves with a lot of really good volleyball programs throughout the state, and how much has that now prepared y'all for this year? I mean, the moment that y'all have all been waiting on, being seniors, having all 7 of y'all, and really striving to go and win one of those big matches.
We've played a lot of games last year, and we're going to be playing a lot of games this year too, so I think it really prepared us for all the adversity.
Tell me about this past Thursday. I mean, you know, getting started with the season. How did y'all feel about, you know, the way that y'all came out and played, and what are some of the things that y'all feel like y'all need to work on now going forward to get where y'all want to get to as a team?
I mean, I didn't play Thursday. I was out, fractured my thumb before we started, but just watching everybody, I felt like, I don't know, we did good working together, but we can definitely work on stuff.
Defense for sure.
Yeah.
And just coming back after we make mistakes and a bunch of points and getting that point back and just keep on going.
You know, one of the biggest things I hear from coaches all the time when it comes to volleyball is communication out there on the court. And is it easier for y'all to communicate having been together so long and having so many older players that are out there on the court together?
I don't know, it just kind of depends. Like, kind of just the energy and stuff. I mean, I don't ever shut up when I'm on the court. I feel like I'm just always saying something. But I mean, yeah.
I don't know, I feel like at times, like sometimes Coach Cahill's like, you need to talk, and we're just like, well, I feel like just sometimes we don't. I mean, we always need to communicate, but like I feel like we know exactly like where we're supposed to, where we're supposed to be, so like we feel like we don't have to talk, but we didn't need to talk.
I think it definitely depends on the energy, because if our energy's up, we just start talking way more. But if our energy's down, we kind of stop talking.
Serve receive is obviously a big thing that coaches talk about and preach all the time. And I mean, how much is that something that you guys really work on in practice and really try to emphasize for this team?
We work on it a good bit. And I'm glad we do because, I mean, if you can't get a serve receive ball, then how are you going to hit or do anything? So focusing on that is just like really big because, I mean, you have to have a pass to do anything.
I agree.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, starting down there with her and then y'all kind of pass it down. Give me y'all's biggest keys now going forward for the rest of this year. What are going to be the most important things for y'all to be able to execute night in and night out to have the results that you guys want and get where you want to get to here at the end of the year?
Probably being like mentally prepared, like going in with a bunch of energy, being a leader, keeping everybody accountable, like confidence, like having confidence in everybody, trusting each other, just stuff like that.
I agree with what Riley said. We just have to be vocal and we got to communicate with each other and we got to get a pass to be able to get the center of the ball to execute.
I think energy is a big part. If we have energy, we're having so much more fun out there. If we don't have energy, it's not as fun because we might be losing or something, but
Well, listen, I really appreciate all of y'all coming up here, taking the time to join us on Keeping Up with Marshall County Athletics, and good luck to y'all the rest of the year.
Thank you.
Really looking forward to seeing how it goes. So we'll be back with more here on Keeping Up with Marshall County Athletics right after this. Welcome back in, Keeping Up with Marshall County Athletics, presented by the Henry House in Guntersville. Make sure to check out the Henry House for any of your vacation needs. You're planning to take a vacation, check out Guntersville, go to the Henry House. They've got 5 different rooms that have different styles to them that you can stay in. It's a great place to be. Guntersville is a great place to come and vacation at, so make sure to check them out, and we appreciate the support for high school athletics. Joined by some more members of the volleyball team at Boaz. I'm going to let them introduce themselves, tell you their name, what position they play, and what grade they're in.
Hey, my name's Harley. I'm a middle hitter and I'm a senior.
My name is Amy Tipton and I'm a DS and I'm a senior.
So, I talked about it with your teammates, but 7 seniors on this team. What's it been like to kind of be together as a group and rise up now from middle school all the way to this point with not only as a group, but also your coach who coached you guys in middle school and then stepped in as your varsity coach?
I think it's just really weird that it's finally us now, but being with Coach Cahill for so long and just being together for so long, it's really prepared us for this year and this season, and I really look forward to it.
I feel like it's very surreal. Like, I don't even feel like I'm a senior, and being with Coach Cahill, I feel like I'm very comfortable and relaxed, and that I can trust her with everything, and that she really is the person who I want to be my coach for my senior year.
And she talks about being comfortable and relaxed and that type of stuff. How important is that, to where you are comfortable, you are relaxed, and you know this group so well, and you're not worried going in about some of the other stuff that some teams have to worry about?
That is probably the most important thing important thing that I think is crucial for volleyball, because without comfortability or like trust, it's not going to work. It's not going to work for volleyball. You have to be able to have the friendship that we have, and I feel like we have a very strong, true friendship with each other, and that is very crucial to have that, because without that, you're just not, it just won't work.
What about for you? I mean, same thing?
You know, speaking about Coach Cahill, it's just that she knows how each one of us need to be coached, not only the seniors, but also the underclassmen, and it just really helps that she knows who needs to get chewed out and who just needs to be like, you're fine, it's all right, get it next time. And I just feel really close-knit. I feel like there's a lot of camaraderie between not only the seniors, but all of the underclassmen too, and it's just, I feel like we have a really good chemistry on our team.
Give me your thoughts on this summer and how you felt about the work that y'all were able to put in this summer, and where you feel like y'all really grew the most from last season through this summer, you know, now carrying over into this volleyball season getting started.
Yeah, totally. We had Muncie camp, and Muncie camp is hard. It's one of the hardest things that we do all summer, and I feel like that really helped us grow and helped us learn how to push through hard points. And like she said, on our games last week, it was 23-20, we were down, had a 5-point run, and you know, it's just, that's something that we definitely learned during the summer, was to push points and to stay confident in ourselves, and yeah, we definitely learned how to push this summer.
Good.
Well, you know, I was just going to kind of talk about, she talked about coming back from 23-20, you know, that type of stuff, and having some people out already in the season like you guys did. How much confidence does that give y'all, seeing that, you know, hey, we're down a couple of people, and yet we were still able to do something like that against a really good team and, you know, get through some adversity here early in the season?
Well, when you realize that you're down 20 to 23, your confidence level kind of drops. But once you start getting those points, you keep the energy up, and you get there, and you keep pushing. You're like, wow, we're 1 point away. We can do this, and that's exactly what we did. The energy was up. Obviously, the energy's always up. Me and her, we always know we can do anything we put our minds to. So.
You know, with talking about the energy and everything, do y'all feel like that this team has a way better understanding of what type of energy it takes to get through games, to get through matches and stuff, having as much experience as y'all do and just being as mature as y'all are as a group?
Yeah, our energy kind of lacks a little bit just because it's the beginning of the season, but I feel like that's something we can definitely improve on, and something that, you know, just builds. And I know we've been together for a long time, but energy's hard. It is hard. It's something that you really have to work on if you think about it. I mean, you've got to work on a lot of things during volleyball, but energy really fuels your team and helps you get all the wins.
You know, the bench obviously is very important. When I talk to any programs throughout the state, and, you know, one of the best programs we have in the state is Bayside, and I've talked with Coach Schilling down there and seen them, and that's something that she really stresses and all that. And I mean, is that something that y'all kind of talk to some of these younger ones that maybe aren't out there as much as they want to be, of saying, hey, look, y'all still have a role in playing and us coming out here and winning these matches, and, you know, helping us, communicating with us, telling us where stuff's going to be and that type of stuff?
Yeah, other than the court, the bench is my favorite place to be, honestly. I have so much fun on the bench. It's probably the most important if you think about it. Like, without the bench's help, if they're not up, you're not up on the court, and that just causes a bunch of mishaps and errors, and that's just probably the most important thing to me, is having all that energy really just fuels your fire on the court and gets you pumped up, and you just get all that adrenaline. You're unstoppable, really.
For both of y'all, just tell me what the emotions were like Thursday, you know, stepping out there on the court, knowing that this is our last first game that we're going to have as high school players.
Oh man, it was really surreal. First game, I could definitely feel the nerves, because it's like, the season has started. Like, it's us now. We're the seniors. We've got to be the leaders out here. Because last year, it was more relaxed. It was like, you know, I've got people out there who it's their senior year and they know how to handle it. And now it's like, we've really got to take on that role and figure out how to execute and how to have the best senior year we can.
What about for you? I mean, what were your emotions like last Thursday?
My emotions were I feel like I was very calm, just because I wanted to make sure that I was not going to let anyone down. Even if I did make errors, I can usually bounce back pretty quick, but I usually like to stay calm just to get my head in the game, to be locked in. But I was a little girlyish excited on the inside. I was like, wow, this is finally going to happen. This is really the last time I'll ever play my first game of volleyball in my entire life.
She brings up some of the errors and things like that, and, you know, having such a mature group, y'all feel like that this group is going, that's going to be one of the strengths, is getting over stuff. You know, I mean, you have to get over stuff very quickly in volleyball. Teams can go on runs, momentum shifts really quick. Do y'all feel like that's going to be a strength of this group? Is, you know, hey, we've kind of been through the fire, we've been through some of those situations, we know how to get over stuff a little bit easier.
Yeah, definitely. I do think that this group, just because we've been together for so long, that we know if we lose a point, hey, you got to snap out of it and get the next one. That's a really big deal in volleyball, and I feel like we definitely have that. Looking at our games from last week, we know that we did push in the hard times, and you know they got 3 points on us in a row, but we snapped out of it and we came back. So I think if we can do that at the beginning of the season, then we'll only get stronger.
I feel the same, but with us, I feel like we all know how to keep each other in line and how to pick each certain person up because there's difference. Like with you, I can yell at you all one and you'll get right back up, and maybe with Sarah, like she's gotta make sure she's calm and this and that. But it all takes a different level of like personality to pick each other up. We all choose certain things and how to be picked up, I think.
Yeah.
What do you feel like is going to be the biggest strength of this team throughout the season? Something that you feel like will carry you game in and game out?
Like I said a minute ago, I feel like our energy needs to be better, but I have seen this group at our point where we're just crazy on the court, and we're a totally different team when we're just having fun, we're not embarrassed to be ourselves, and we're pretty unstoppable when we're completely having fun on the court, not worried about anything else except volleyball.
What about for you?
I feel like trust is very big important, and I feel like we all trust each other. On the team, I feel like we all have trust in each other, not just the seniors, but trust is definitely a big, important role in volleyball. To me, that's my most crucial, important point.
What do y'all feel like is the biggest area of improvement now for this group going forward? The thing that y'all focus on the most every day in practice, knowing, hey, we have to be able to get this done to get where we want to get to at the end of the year?
Like the group said before us, communication, serve receive, and those really go hand in hand. If you don't communicate, then you're not going to be able to execute with your hitters, and that's just something we've definitely got to work on, and that goes along with energy. You know, when you have energy, you're talking. When you're talking, you execute.
I feel like it's just execution, getting past that hit, and just being in the mindset of start strong, finish strong, executing the pass, the set, the hit, getting that point to get you the next point, and make sure that you always stay up and your energy is just top notch. You're beating the other team in every aspect, energy, points, everything.
Well, really appreciate y'all taking the time to join us here on Keeping Up Marshall County Athletics, and good luck to y'all. Really looking forward to seeing how the rest of this year goes for y'all.
Thank you.
Welcome in to Keeping Up with Marshall County Athletics. We are here with the man himself. I call him Coach Sully. Coach, head coach of the Boaz Pirates. Coach, I'm going to take you back. You know, you and I met several years ago. We had one of your players featured on our Player of the Week years ago, and we've never got to interview you personally, but we got you in here now. So for those outside of Boaz who may not know about your career, let's rewind the clock a little bit about how you came into your coaching career. You were a star player at Jacksonville State University, but before that, where did you grow up and what was your childhood like?
Well, I grew up in the big city of Wakerville, Alabama, which is compared to Guntersville is about like comparing Guntersville to Atlanta, maybe New York City. It's 15 miles from where the house I grew up in to a red light still to this day. Seriously, we went toward town to go hunting. I went to a little high school, Leroy High School. It used to be a 2A school. It's down to a 1A school now. They've won a few state championships since I left. We didn't win any when I was there. But it was a great place to grow up. I got great parents that still come to most of the games. They kind of split time now between my games, and I got a niece that they live in Mississippi, and she's some kind of featured dancer deal with the band, so they kind of split between us and them, and lived on the same street as little road as both sets of my grandparents. So there was a lot of days that I would eat supper at one grandparent's and then the other one's, and then my dad would pick me up and I would go home and eat my third supper of the night, and that's how you make a college offensive line.
Now, Coach, your playing weight was a little bit more than you are now, but during your day, I had a cousin that played with you at JSU, and He told me how good you were. He's legit. So any of the stories he tells you guys, you better believe them, they're real. But Coach, take us back to those playing days at JSU, and obviously, yeah, you were playing football, but you was also learning the game from a different angle, which has led you to your career here at Boaz.
Yeah, playing college football, I obviously was exposed to a lot of different things that I'd never heard of before. We were in high school, we were an I team for a while, and we were a wing T team, and I got to Jacksonville State, and when I first got there was a guy who worked for Hal Mumme at Kentucky, and he had kind of learned Hal Mumme's, the original air raid stuff. So we were system, Tony Franklin's system before it was Tony Franklin's system, and so we threw the ball a lot, especially early in my career, and then we had a coaching change, and a guy named Jack Crow came in, and we went back to I, something that I was familiar with and would probably fit me a little better. So we did that, and then we kind of, as I stayed there as a coach, we kind of evolved into a little more of a spread team. But yeah, it was a great experience, especially learning how to work hard, and growing up in Leroy, I got by a lot of times by being, the biggest guy on the field, and so I had to learn how to play hard, and I wish that I would have used that same kind of effort when I was in high school, but learned some good lessons and had a lot of fun doing it.
And Coach, what led you over into your coaching career? Because you've been at Boaz, you've had some successful teams, you've had some success, successful players that went on to play college football, but what's led you over into your coaching career?
Well, when I got done playing at JSU, I had an opportunity to be a GA there, and so as I was finishing up my degree, I just got married, so my wife was real happy about me taking a job that didn't pay anything. So I did that for 2 years. I coached with the defense both years. Second year I was the D-line coach, and then I moved over to offense, and I was the offensive line coach for 4 years. And so it just kind of worked out. It just kind of fell into place for me. My dad definitely did not want me to be a teacher and a coach. He was probably a lot smarter than me. Should have listened maybe. Coming out of high school, I could either go be an engineer on a full ride at South, or I could go to JSU on a tuition scholarship and play football. So I did that, and then it just got to be where I just could never see myself doing anything else. It's just I can't live without it. I always tell people that's thinking about being a coach, just be a coach if you can't do anything else. And I don't mean not capable, because most coaches are, they're masters at multitasking and good with people, and they can sell, and they're good teachers and all that stuff. But they just can't live without the competition, can't live without being a part of a team. And that's just been such a big part of my life growing up, and then throughout my playing career, and I just didn't want it to end. I've been real lucky. The Lord's blessed me and led me to a lot of great places.
The big man upstairs is always in control, and leading you to Boaz, Alabama has been very special for a lot of young men. Some of those young men are sitting here with us today, but when you look at, we only got a few minutes to do our interview, but when you look at what you've done here at Boaz and changed so many young men's lives in a positive way, what does that mean to you personally? Because, you may be out in a mall and you may be out in town shopping 20 years from now, and those same guys will come up to you and say, "Hey, Coach, something you did at practice for me changed my life."
Well, that's the ultimate goal of coaching, and the longer I'm in it, the more that kind of stuff means to me. I can't remember all the games that we've played, and we've had some success, and of course never have as much success as you want in the win and loss column unless you're going 15-0 every year, and I have done that before, and it was really fun. But we, like the kid that you interviewed that time, his name's Christian Collins, and he's one of my favorite all-time players. Just tough, just a great player. But talked to him the other day, and he's in his last year of school to be an aeronautical engineer.
That's awesome.
And you just I talked to a kid that played for me at JSU the other day. He's an O-line coach now over in Georgia. It's just to see those kids grow up, and I've stayed at Boaz, this is my 7th season, so I've seen a lot of kids grow up, and my son's on this team, and, he's a junior, and so that class is real special to me, and just to see those kids, become successful young men, and we got some that are linemen, with the power company, we got them doing all kind of things, and to know that maybe I played just a small role in teaching them some things that help them be successful people. To me, that's become as important as any game that you can win now. And don't get me wrong, I want to win every game we play. I hate losing worse than anybody but I also know that there's a lot beyond football that we're trying to teach, and we're trying to make sure that these guys get. And I just I've been so blessed with the kids I've been able to coach here. Some of the best kids ever. We really have great kids. Now we may not have the most talent of any team, but we always have high character, high quality kids that you love being around, and that's why I've stayed here so long, and I plan on finishing my career here if they'll have me.
I love that. I love that answer, Coach, because I'm pretty sure they will. I mean, you keep doing what you're doing, and you surround yourself with other great coaches as well, and it's for the betterment of these kids, and I love it. Coach, we want to fast forward to this year. Everybody wants to know about the current team. You know how that rolls. And, you guys started out versus a very, very tough opponent last week in Jacksonville, and a 3-star quarterback that could probably be a 4-star if he's an inch or two taller. Jim Ogles come up a little bit short in that game, but Coach, you can't hang your head because you got to turn around and play an inter-county rivalry this week in Albertville. Let's talk about a little bit about last week's game and what transpired, and then let's talk about this big game ahead of you. How you got to get these guys turned right back around and dialed in for this big game coming up.
Well, we last week we faced a very good opponent. Jacksonville is a very talented football team, and we turned the football over 5 times. And that's the story of the game. We got a chance right before half to go in with it. Where we still got a good chance in the game. We turned the ball over. And then they scored right at the end of the half, and we come back and we almost scored with about 40 seconds left on a drive and make 2 good throws, and a kid they had a safety just made a phenomenal play. They turned one loose, and he just makes a phenomenal play on the ball. And then come back out and start the second half. We stop them. They punt to us. We fumble the punt, muff the punt. They end up scoring. They kick off to us. We turn it over. They score. It's a ball game. And it was just got away from us, and I take nothing away from them, but I would love to play that game with 0 turnovers to see what happens, and so we feel like we had our chances, even against a high quality opponent. Ogle's a great quarterback. I remember the day he was born. Me and his dad worked together at JSU. He's a great kid, and all of that, but I wouldn't trade him for our quarterback. And so we still feel like we have all the players that we need to win every game on our schedule if we play to the best of our ability. We also feel like we're not good enough that if we turn the ball over like that we can beat anybody on our schedule. So what we've really been focused on this week is even though it's a big rivalry game and Alabama was a huge rival for us and all that, we've tried to focus completely on ourselves. We don't care about who we're playing. We want to get as good as we can get this week, and usually you make your biggest improvement between game 1 and game 2, and we have to do that. We have to keep pushing to get as good as we can get. That's what we've been trying to sell the kids on. I hope that's what they've heard. And obviously, we've tried to have 80 people on the field every play coaching ball security. And I tell them that they're just as responsible for it as the coaches are, and so we're all coaching ball security, and it's something that's really. It's always been a theme of our teams, and we've always done a good job at it, and we can't continue on at that pace. So we're going to get those things cleaned up, and we're excited about seeing how this week and the rest of the season goes. And we feel like that if we execute and we limit our mistakes, that we can play with anybody that's on our schedule.
Coach, what does it mean to you and your community when you look across the field and you see Albertville? When you play a team like that, it has to, I'm not trying to jazz it up more than it already is, but it has to mean a little bit more than just your average opponent. Absolutely,
it means more. there's no use in denying it. It's a great rivalry. It has been long before I came here, and will be long after I'm gone. And Coach at Albertville's gone, Coach Brown's gone. So it's always high intensity. The kids know each other. They grow up together. They play travel ball together. Some of them switch between schools. It's a lot of relationships there. There's a lot of relationships between the fans of our school and the fans of their school. Some of them their guys went to Boaz. Some of our people went to Albertville. It's only 6 miles apart. So it's people that you see every day that and there's no doubt that everybody in Boaz and in Albertville want to win that game. And we obviously acknowledge that, but we can't get caught up in the emotions. We still have to do what it takes to win football games, and that never changes. So we want to use that to spark us and to help us, but we don't want to let it be something that makes us nervous or anxious about playing, or causes us to play, you can play too emotional. It causes us to play too emotional and not take care of the fundamentals.
Coach, final thoughts heading into this all-important week with Apple.
I just hope that we, kind of what I hope every week, that we perform the very best we can. If our team plays the very best they can play, I don't care about the scoreboard. We can't control that. All we can control is us playing our very best. And if we play our best, they play their best, and they're better than us, then we'll just live with it. If we don't play our best, and we're always going to strive to do that, then I feel like I failed as a coach, and we hadn't reached where we need to as a team.
Coach, I appreciate you sitting in with us with Keeping Up with Marshall County Athletics, and we'll be right back with the student athletes of his at Boaz High School. All right, welcome back in to Keeping Up with Marshall County Athletics. We are here with the Boaz Pirates, and I'm going to let these gentlemen introduce themselves at this time. Name and position.
My name is Boaz Sullivan. I play middle linebacker and defensive end and tight end.
My name is Tyler Pierce. I'm the quarterback.
My name is Presley Farrant, and I'm a running back / linebacker.
All right, each one of you guys, I want to answer this one. Football season's here, obviously. The bullets are flying for real now. The off season had to be tough for you guys, and it is for a lot of teams around this area. But I know up here, because I'm friends with a lot of guys on your staff, talk about your off season this year and tell us just how tough that was for people who may not know what you guys went through this off season to prepare for this season.
I think we, especially when it comes to things that people don't see, I think we've done a lot to make ourselves better. And then when it comes to the 7-on-7s, I think we've played a bunch of teams that may have been higher classifications than us, we might have lost, but I think playing them later on will make us a better team. And I think our coaches have put us in a great position.
Yes, like he said, we put in a bunch of hard work and extra work, and it'll definitely pay off and help us.
This off season, it's been tough. We put in a lot of work, and I feel like it's really helped our team, and our coaches have really been on us this off season to make us better. I feel it's going to help us a lot during our season.
Keep that mic right there. I got a question for you coming back this way. You guys didn't start out the way you wanted to against Jacksonville, but again, like I talked to Coach about, it really means nothing in the grand scheme of things. Wins and losses mean nothing. It's a lot of effort, and Coach talked about that. This week you're playing an inter-county rivalry. Coach don't have to come up with bulletin board material. All you got to do is see the name Albert Boy. What does that mean to you when you look across the field, much like I asked Coach, and you see Albert Boy? What does it mean to you personally?
Honestly, I'm not even sure.
It's different than playing a normal opponent, I'm sure.
Yeah, they're our rivals, and when we see them, we really want to beat them, I guess.
You got to. Let me pass it back down this way.
Yeah, we just, every time we sit down, there's nothing to be said. We know what we got to do, and we perform our best, and just try to do everything we can.
Yeah, I think there's definitely a lot on the line. Not necessarily more than another game, but I know me and guys beside me. I haven't lived here my whole life, but I've been here for at least 5 years, and there's guys that I've grown up with from Albertville that I'm really good friends with. I hang out with them outside of sports, and there's just that connection between them, that the bragging rights, I guess you could say, just everybody together.
How many guys do you have on your roster right now?
I think like 60,
65, 64?
more.
Okay, out of 64 people on your team, 64 guys who's bled, who's sweat, who's went through all the ground like you guys have, Coach picked you 3 guys. What does that mean to you personally? He sent you up here to represent not only your school, but your community.
It means a lot to me, not only as a player, but as a person. And I think we have many people that can deserve to be here. It's not just us 3. I think we have a lot of people on our team that could be sitting here answering these questions just as good as me or anybody else. But it means a lot to me as a person and a player that he picked me.
Yeah, it's definitely special, and like I said, there's just about half of our team, anybody could be up here and doing the same thing.
Yeah. Ty said that,
Hey, you're fine, man. Go ahead. You good?
it's very special to me. I wasn't expecting to be picked. I wasn't expecting to come up here and talk. I'm not very good at talking to Kobe, as you can tell. But yeah, there's a lot of people on our team that can be up here to talk. I can think of a few right now. But
Let me ask you a question. We pass it back down this way. This will be an easy one for you. This will probably be a layup, actually. What is it about these two guys you admire?
Ty, he's really hard. He really works hard. I know he does. He's always trying his best on the defense and offense. When he's blocking or going out for a pass, he gets on himself a lot when he drops a pass. Tyler Pierce is always making sure I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And same for me, I want to make sure that he knows what he has to do sometimes. But they're both really good players.
All right, you pass it to your teammate, and he asked you the same thing about these other two gentlemen sitting on each side of him.
Both of these guys, two of the hardest workers I know, and they'll do anything they can to help this team and do their role and just make us better.
These two guys beside me, I've been a lot of places with my dad, different places, different schools. I've seen a lot of players, and these two are some of the best I've seen since I've been a little kid. And Presley, I think he's one of the hardest hitters on our team. He'll play to the whistle. He plays right on the edge. And then Tyler, I've played with him since 5th grade flag football. I think he's a great quarterback. I think that no matter who we're playing on defense or anything like that, I think he can make the perfect throw to do whatever we need to do in the game.
This one's going to be an answer that probably be different for you than these two gentlemen, but it's still the same situation. He's your head coach, your dad. What does he mean to you guys in your life, each one of you guys? Obviously, probably a little more to you, but go ahead.
Definitely means a lot to me. Not only as a dad, but as a coach. I think he pushes me just as hard as the other guys, maybe even harder because, although, yes, I see him at football practice, I also go home every night, every day, see him at home, and how you say you want to take the football out of your home, but I have a bad practice sometimes, and I go home, I'm still a little mad. He might be a little mad at me, but he's a great leader in my life. He's done a lot for me, so.
Beautiful, love it.
Yeah, he's definitely very special to me. I've known him since I was in 5th grade when he got here, and he's always helped me and pushed me to be the best I can be, and always encourages me.
It means a lot to me too. I've only known him for 2-3 years now. He's always been on me, working me hard, pushing me harder, got on to me when I messed up and made sure I was learning from that. He's a great coach.
Love it. Which one of you three raises his blood pressure the most?
Also,
Not even close? Is that true, Coach?
Yeah.
Coach is not denying that one. Well, hey, guys, I appreciate you guys sitting in with us, man. It's been outstanding. Good luck to you guys moving forward. I know you got a huge game this week, and you don't need us to keep you here talking because every minute, every hour is important for you guys' preparation in a big rivalry game like this. Thank you so much.